Hello, everyone, and welcome. Thank you so much for taking this time to invest in your business. And I think that once we get done here tonight, you're going to feel like this was time very well spent. If you will take notes tonight, if you will write down some of these ideas that our excellent, talented panel members are going to share with you, I think you're going to find a great return for your investment tonight. So let me, first of all, let me mention to you, I am going to ask everybody other than our presenters to mute for a while. At the end, we'll give you time to ask questions, but we want to make sure that we have a clean recording. So if you are not muted, if you will go ahead and do that. And then if you're not familiar with how Zoom works, up in the top right-hand corner, you should see view. And if you want to highlight the speaker, just go to speaker view rather than gallery view. And that way, whoever is speaking will be larger on your screen and you can see them better. So we are so thrilled. We already have over 20 participants, and I know a lot that are going to be listening to the recording. So let me first of all introduce you to our panelists. And these very talented leaders were chosen for this panel for a reason. They all have a history of fundraisers, and I think that they're going to be excellent in helping you to achieve success with fundraisers also. So we're going to start out with Sherry Turley-Kress. And Sherry has been with Pampered Chef for a total of 27 years. She is a wife for the last 16 years, a mom of 2 adult children, and a new grandma as of 10 days ago. So, you know, she's pretty excited about that. Sherry's fundraisers she does 3 to 4, averages 3 to 4 fundraisers a year. And her biggest fundraiser was over $4,000. And you'll hear about that just a little bit later. And our next panelist is Amy Zubers. Amy has been with Pampered Chef twice for a total of almost 10 years. And she has always offered fundraisers because she loves to give back. It's just in her blood. She has a son that's a firefighter and a daughter that is in the Army and is currently serving our country in Germany. The largest fundraiser that Amy has ever done was for a children's athletic association, and it was almost $5,000. When Amy found out that Pampered Chef was offering the double rewards for fundraisers in May, she was so excited, and she has dedicated a lot of her time to ensure that May will be an amazing month of giving back. And our third panelist is Amanda Woods. Amanda found Pampered Chef when she was almost 24 years old. She has 3 adult children, and she's worked her business in any form that she can think of, from hobby to part-time gig to full-time job. Amanda does 1 to 2 fundraisers a month, and her highest was $2,500. And I am so excited for you to be able to hear from each of these panelists and hear a little bit about their history and their time working on fundraisers. So we are going to start out with Amy. And Amy, I understand that you're wanting to generate some personal and team sales for the month of April. Well, that's good, April, or that's good, Amy, that you want to do that for April. But how will you use this fundraising gift that Pampered Chef has given us with doubling donations in May to help with April?
Well, first, thank you so much for having us and choosing me, because I don't feel anywhere at the same level as some of these awesome people that are joining us tonight. But I'm looking at fundraisers not only to give back to the community, but also to our team as a much needed boost. I did find myself as this is my 3rd year in revision as a director.
Third month.
Yes. Thanks. Just help me fill in those words here and there. And for those of y'all that don't know, I did just have surgery. So Chris may have to help me with some words here and there. But this is a place that I never wanted to find my team. And we've worked very hard to never get here. And that is awesome in my ways of looking at our team and our support, but it has happened, and I did have surgery. So there's just a lot of things in that. But really, when I found out that Pampered Chef was offering this, it really can help boost those team sales because we're going to start collecting orders now. We're going to give back, and we're going to start those orders now. So that can work for everybody by starting now and getting a head start for the month of May.
Mhm. Okay. And so what else are you doing for your team to help them generate sales from fundraisers this month?
Absolutely. I am on it. I am sharing my excitement with it because we all know that our excitement is contagious. So I'm sharing my excitement, what I'm doing, the teams I'm working with, the organizations, the things that I'm reaching out for. But I took it a little bit different. I'm going to actually offer a mega team fundraiser. And it took some thinking about this. It took some work with Chris to try to work out the logistics of this, just because I didn't know how I could make this work, but I was super excited to try. So just a little bit about that is that every one of my contributing consultants is going to choose whatever organization they want it to be for. And they're setting up theirs. They're going to have everything. They're going to give me their link. Let's see. Let me just read these particulars because it's really important to make sure y'all understand. I'm helping set up a group on Facebook for them. Super easy. Some will not need that. Some of mine are still really new consultants and they're excited. So I'm offering that as a help for them. They will set it up on Consultants Corner. They will provide me the Shop Now link. I'm going to set up a table party, one huge extravaganza of Pampered Chef Gives Back. So this is just for everybody. And with that link, then I will create a pinned post at the top of our table party, and it will have every consultant's or host. If the consultant has a hostess running it, I will have the consultant's name and the host picture and their Shop Now link so they can click that. But I want to be able to push people into that table because table is awesome and the resources are fabulous there. So we're going to bring them to the Facebook group if they need it and then be pushed into table. But that way everybody can spotlight their own fundraiser and give them a little bit of love there in the Facebook group, and then come for the fun shopping, recipes, and other awesome resources that Table has to offer.
Great idea, Amy. And then I want to go back and just ask you a little bit again about maximizing the fundraisers, the double donations. I want to make sure that this is very clear for everyone that's listening. So what is the criteria? So can I set up an April fundraiser and Pampered Chef is going to give the double donations? What's the criteria for that?
No, we really have to set it up starting May 1st. But as we all know, when we set up parties, you've always seen the early bird gets the worm kind of thing for your regular parties. The early bird gets to celebrate in April for us is what that is. Because even though we're collecting orders in April, the party doesn't start till May 1st. Okay. Or the fundraiser. Let me use the correct terminology. Yes. The fundraiser does not start till May 1st. So when we set this up, and something I'm working with my new consultants is that they're going to set it up for May 1st. Now, some of them may want it to close on May 1st. Some of them may want it to close May 2nd. And that's really the cool way that we get to look at this. And this is something that I think we're going to hear a little bit more about April, May, and June is how this is really going to be awesome. But yes, the fundraiser must start on May 1st. But we'll get those early orders in now and really help boost those team sales.
And because of Direct Ship Now, when they submit in April, the consultant and the team will get credit for April sales, but it still counts towards a double donation in May. So that is really awesome. This is an amazing gift that Pampered Chef has given to our consultants. Okay, yes, Amy, did you want to say
I
something else?
did. How exciting would it be if you left that fundraiser open a little bit and they get those products so quickly, and then they come back and go, oh, well, so and so needed to get this, or so and so needed to get that, and Mother's Day is right there in May, so they see how quickly they get those back, and then they're coming back and ordering again, so not once but twice for your May fundraiser.
Okay. And Donna Joe, I see you've got a question about when does that need to close, and we are going to cover that in just a minute. So let's move on to Amanda Woods. Amanda, I know that you are so passionate about our Taste Buds subscription. We just call Amanda Woods the Taste Buds ambassador in our organization. She's amazing with selling those subscriptions. So Amanda, how can you use the current sales in April to enhance May fundraisers since they end the last day of April?
Well, I think Amy kind of covered that in that, remember she said we can start selling in April. We can go ahead and start doing that. And that's really kind of fun to think about, because with Taste Buds being 25% off this month in April, they still are, that's not going to change the donation because the fundraiser is going to be submitted in May. And I pulled up a few statistics that I thought was pretty cool. One of them was, do you realize that 58% of the American population, 58%, so that's basically 1 in every 2 people you know, like turn around, look in your house, 1 in every 2 people you know have subscription services, you guys. And so a lot of people don't realize that Pampered Chef offers Taste Buds and Enrichables as the subscription services. They don't even know that that exists. And so I think it's really important that they can get it now while it's on sale. They're looking to buy subscriptions anyway. We all are. I saw somebody just a minute ago asking about HelloFresh, like, well, should I do that? It's been, so look around. There are people who really want those subscription services because they want stuff automated. I was looking at a protein powder the other day and I'm like, why can't I just get it to my door? Like, why can't I just think about that, and just click that button and it just comes to the door. So yeah, Taste Buds is a great way because they're going to get the 25% off. And then everybody likes to think that their purchase matters. It's making a difference. So really drive home that not only are they saving, but they're going to get that up to 30% discount when that when that fundraiser hits the $600 level.
Okay. And of course, we may have a sale come out in May, but we don't know about that. But what else can they get that same discount on in April? What other?
The enamel cast iron is also at such a discount. And that's the other statistic that I pulled. I don't have the exact percentage, but I will say that cast iron and enameled cast iron is the fastest growing like go-to cookware for this generation, for like people 30 and under. That's the one that they turn to. That's the one that they're registering for. That's the one that they want. So what is April and May? It's wedding shower season, isn't it? So a great time for people to go ahead and stock up on that while it's on sale and take it to the showers with them. It's a beautiful gift. I mean, it is just a beautiful gift. And then they also get up to that 30% donation. So.
Okay, great idea. Let's go to Sherry Turley-Kress. Sherry, let me ask you, how will you use this fundraiser double donation to boost your June personal and team sales?
Well, kind of like this month, since we get to start the shows early, as long as they're dated in May, it's the same as a normal like host rewards party. So you get until June 7th to submit those May parties. As long as they're dated May, you can submit those parties. So if you want to start a fundraiser on May 25th, you can do that and run it through the 7th of June. Now, I wouldn't recommend telling your people that the last day is June 7th. I would say June 5th or 6th, so that you have that extra day or two to actually get those stragglers that are going to be coming in, to get their orders in and things like that. So your team and you and your team can be green by the 7th of June.
I love that idea. And Sherry, I just thought about something when Amanda and I were talking about the cast iron, the enameled cast iron. So do you know off the top of your head, how many pieces do we have in that enameled cast iron collection? Just guess. Is it?
There's like 6, I think.
Yeah, I was thinking like 6 or 7.
Yeah.
So what would you do with that if you know that you have somebody, or even if you wanted to go back and see who has purchased a piece of cast iron, what could you do to generate more sales with that? You know where to find those reports. Can you just tell us what would we do?
You can go and look up, you can actually do a search. I think it's under reports and tracking, and then under, is it customer? Then it's customers, and then you can put in the item number. You need the item number and you can put in several different item numbers. And then everybody that purchased a cast iron, a piece or any piece of cast iron of your customers, it will bring up that list, and you can let them know that the other pieces that they don't have are on sale for the month of, well, for now, the month of April.
Yep.
So that's an easy way to generate sales.
And the other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to also reach out to those customers that purchased the blue. So don't forget those numbers. Go in and find those numbers from an old catalog so that you can include those in your search. Because when you tell somebody 25% off, and then another 20 to 30% donated to that fundraiser, to that charity, to that group, whatever, they're not going to care what color it is.
Yeah.
Like the roasting pan. If you guys have not tried the roasting pan, it is amazing. And I use the roasting pan on top of the stove, and I cooked 16 pork chops for a crowd the other day. They were so delicious and so tender. It's just an amazing pan. So anybody that purchased one of the others, they need this roasting pan to go along with that, and at such an awesome discount.
And you can brag about the cleanup too, because the cleanup on those things is amazing. I mean, I made like the baked orzo in there and sat for a little while we were eating, and I was worried that it was going to stain and come out. Nope, came right out. Just squirted some hot water on that baby and it came right clean.
Yeah. So our enameled cast iron is amazing. We've got to be telling people about it. It's a great deal at 25% off, but then to be able to have another part of their purchase price as a donation, it's just amazing. The problem is going to be that we can't tell enough people before the end of April while this sale is still on. So let's make it our mission to spread the news. So now we're going to move into the nuts and bolts of how to maximize this gift that Pampered Chef has given us of doubling donations to all May fundraisers by talking about who to reach out to and what to say. So Amanda, I would like for you to tell us who are some prime candidates for fundraisers. Who do you reach out to?
Well, anybody. But if we want to get specific, and because think about it, there really are so many opportunities for fundraisers. There's so many different ways that you can impact your community. And I want to just take it one step farther real quick and say this. If you are offering fundraisers to your customer base, your community, not only are you growing your customer base, that's awesome, but you're also becoming the face of giving in your community. And that's important. Like, people are going to know you and they're going to recognize you for that. I'm kind of known as the home homecoming queen because I have done fundraisers to help many, many, many homecoming queens in our area win. I think of the 15 I've done fundraisers for, 13 have won.
Wow.
So that's
That's
cool.
amazing.
So scouts, like scouts groups, bands, choirs, and if you're not writing this down, write it down. Okay.
Mhm.
Scouts, bands, choirs, your like drama clubs and performing arts, all of those. Sports teams, and that's anything from Little League all the way, even those, what are those church leagues called? I can't think of them. But then all the way up to high school teams, the school culinary arts program, food shelter, Shriners programs, Rotary Club, French Club, any kind of club, just insert club. Mission trips, we have, my son has been on a couple mission trips, and I mean, we sold everything but our own clothes on our back trying to get him on those mission trips. So you're going to be a godsend when you are helping people with that. Animal shelters, humane shelters, cheerleading teams, cheerleading, like for uniforms, that's great. Sometimes it is really hard for some of those families to be able to afford. I know that my daughter, when she was getting started in cheerleading, and now think not just community, but also competitive teams. This is great for competitive teams. I know those uniforms went anywhere from $250 all the way up to, like, we paid $800 for uniforms and all the accessories one time. Church kitchens, that's a fun one. Fires, like if somebody has a fire, now we don't want that, but if there is, that's a good one. Preschool playground equipment replacement, or and even elementary school. I did one for a dog rescue, and so they come back every year and say, will you do this again? Cat rescue, hamster rescue, insert rescue. So yeah, the possibilities are endless. And I think, are we going to do what we talked about with them giving?
Yes.
Okay. Now, are we going to do that now?
Yes.
Can I ask for it now? Okay.
Yeah.
So in the chat, what we want to know, as I was reading this list off, what are you kind of thinking you might offer to? What are the groups in your area, in your community? And here, remember, it's not just your community. We're virtual. So it's a virtual community, but that's okay, because it's the network of people that you know. Yes, senior centers. That's a great one.
Oh, that is good.
Yeah, that's a really good one. And then Sherry put the list in there, but you all put in the chat, what are some of those that you thought about that you would do? Syrup Thomas, I don't know that. Meals on Wheels, Christmas holiday shoeboxes, cute. Yes.
That is good.
Yeah, these are good. So if you don't know who to reach out, now you do. Now you don't have an excuse. Screenshot that food pantries. Yep. So screenshot the chat and take those with you, and just start thinking, who do I know for those? Meal kits for food banks. Yes. Yeah, that was so good. All right. So you've got an idea where to start.
And keep those coming. If you think of more organizations, groups, charities, go ahead and keep putting those in the chat. All right, Sherry, I want to ask you, can you tell us about your personal fundraiser history and how your fundraisers have performed?
Sure. Well, I have a fundraiser group that I work with every year. We do one every November, and it's for the Washington State chapter of Women in Aviation. And they're an amazing group that helps young women get scholarships to be able to get their pilot license. And then go to work for different companies or even in the military. So, the largest one so far was like $4,398. And so, and that was afforded them to give, I think she said 10 scholarships to young women that were doing that. Yeah. And some of these women are amazing, and they do all kinds of different things outside of their flying. And so it's just a really great group that I was able to be hooked up with. And then I've also I had someone that whose 25th anniversary got canceled. Their trip got canceled to Mexico. So we did a Cinco de Mayo fundraiser and for Feeding America. And that one was just over $4,000 also. So it's really fun. And I've done other chapters for former sorority people that do things that help their sororities during their philanthropy. I can't say that word. Philanthropy. I can't say that word. Anyway, you know, they have different things that they have to do in the sorority. So I've helped them out with things too. So I really enjoy doing, and I do one every year now since my mother-in-law passed away Christmas Eve of 2020. I do a meal kit fundraiser or a Meals on Wheels for her in her name, because she was very active in those groups.
Okay. And Sherry, can you tell us where to find the fundraiser information that would be helpful? And do you want to share your screen?
Yes, I can do that.
Let me make you a co-host so that you can do that.
Okay. So, yes, we do have, there is a lot of information on the, let me share my screen. No one judge me for how many tabs I have open. This is just a sampling of what is available on, so we've got the May guest specials that also have the Do Doubly Good on them. These are the, now there are specific fundraiser planners. There's a specific one for the American Cancer Society, and there is one for Feeding America. This is the generic one for any group that you, and since Pampered Chef is not, it's not only for Feeding America or for the American Cancer Society, it's for any organization this time in May. So this is a good helper for you to have available. And there are some graphics, and you can do this all in marketing imagery. If you go to marketing imagery and type in fundraiser, all of this will pop up for you. And there's other things. And so then there's also a couple of posts that you can use on Facebook. And this one kind of tells about the different levels of doubling. And so it's at 650 when it doubles from 15% to 30%. And I sometimes will, depending on the group and if I've worked with them before and how much the party sales, I do donate a portion of my commission from that. And did you want me to go and tell about the commission on that, since it is?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that.
Okay, because the commission on a fundraiser is a little bit different. It's I think we figured it out. It's 5% less than you would normally get. So it's, the base is 15% if you don't have your 15,000. It's 17% if you have your 15,000 in career sales. So in different levels, you get, you still get the increment for different levels, but it ends up to being about 5% less. So that's just something you want to keep in mind when you're donating your commission, because you can figure that out off of your, when you get your paycheck in the month. And so this is just something that shows you how to set it up. This is the screen that you would go to. So when you go to a party, you pick a party, you can do virtual, or if it's virtual, and then pick fundraiser. And so then in the organization, you would pick other, because it's not Feeding America or American Cancer Society, then put in the organization name here. If they have an EIN number, you can put it here. If they don't, you don't need it. Don't worry about it. It's an optional thing. And then fill in the rest of it as you want. If your host, if you want the check to go to the organization and not the host, put in the address, put your host name in, whoever the organizer is, put their name in as the host. I think it says, yeah, it says, I think it still says first name, last name. Put their name in, but then put the organization's address in there. Now, the host is going to order. So you click down here for alternate shipping locations. Then you can put in the host address and her product will go to her and not the organization.
Okay.
So, and I put this little thing together here to show you how to go to find your fundraisers. If you want to find your fundraisers, you can go, so you go to Consultants Corner, click on reports and tracking, and then under customer reports, hit host, then enter a date range if you're looking for a specific date range, or you can click that little box that says all dates if you just want to find out any fundraiser you've ever had. So click the date range, then go down to show type, hit the down arrow, and then click fundraiser. And then you can hit generate report. And this is what it will look like. So these are my, just a few of my fundraisers that I've had over the years. And so that's that. And then this, oh, this is later. I won't share that part yet.
Oh, well, that's my next question. Have you done anything to start social media conversations around fundraising?
Yeah, so, okay, so let me, so this is my post I made. I just asked everybody, I figured out 30% of $1,000 show is $300. So I asked if they would, if you could donate $300 to any charity or group or organization, what would it be? And then when they commented the name of their organization, I sent them this message. Thank you for sharing your favorite charity organization. I have a great opportunity for us to partner together to get that $300. This one was for Samaritan's Purse. Every Pampered Chef fundraiser submitted in May will get up to 30% donation based on party sales, which is double the usual donation. Make sure you have that in there so they know it's a special thing that's going on. So, and then, would you like to partner with me to raise some funds for Samaritan's Purse? And then you just wait for them, and then they will respond to you, and then you can set it up from there.
Okay. All right, let's move over to Amy. And Amy, I would like to hear, once people have made a list of the fundraiser ideas, the organizations, charities, groups that they want to contact, what can you give us an idea of how to start that conversation? What do you do to reach out and pique their curiosity and get a conversation going?
So I have two. First things first, you have to take a big deep breath. No, this is probably going to hurt. I mean, if this is me talking to myself only, this is going to hurt, but only for a minute. And we're just going to hold our breath and hit send. That's the first inner dialogue. But then I'm going to just read a couple that I went back and just copied and pasted for me to be able to remember quickly because I'm not tech savvy. So this one said, "Hey, Sally, I hope you're doing well, enjoying spring break with the kids. Because I always like to be personable when I reach out. I have decided to give back while I'm healing from back surgery. What a great time since Pampered Chef just announced that it's offering double rewards for fundraisers. I know cheer is an expensive sport. Would you or the team be interested in some more information about this different style of fundraiser?"
Okay.
So that's one of the ways, which I thought was great because both of the ones that I had reached out to are some that Amanda had already mentioned. So the other one was, "Hey, Terry, I love seeing all the post of the boys and what they're doing, and I'm so proud of them." And that really got me to thinking about how I can give back while I'm recovering from back surgery. Perfect timing because Pampered Chef just announced double donations. Do you think the band would be interested in a fundraiser where I can give back and help them meet a need? Super
Wonderful.
easy, super simple. Hold your breath and hit send. It really doesn't hurt, I promise.
And
long.
one of the things that we talk about in our organization is you have to keep that first outreach short, because they're not going to read a long text. You just want to grab you're not really giving information in this first one. You're just piquing curiosity. Your purpose is not to book a fundraiser. Your purpose is to start a conversation. And so it always needs to end with a question. It always ends with a question. That's going to facilitate, suggest a response, a conversation. Then you can get into more details if you find that they're interested. But Amy, when this last one, it tells me that you did a little bit of research. You were a little bit of a detective. How did you come up with that information? Like about the boys?
Oh, these were personal friends of mine. So when I first started reaching out, I didn't want to just do cold, because again, I like to give back, but I want to take care of my friends and family first.
Mm-hmm.
So when I first started going through, I made a list just like we've made tonight. And just like Chris mentioned, I started making a list of who do I know in this organization. And it just so happened that I have a really good friend, and she has a set of triplets, and they are in a very rural area in Georgia band. And she is constantly trying to raise funds for this the band is great. Like, to be so small, like, they're great, but they're very, I don't want to use the P word. They're very funding poor.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah, they are. It's just, they don't get a lot of funding. And sad to say, in our area, the money goes to the football team, the basketball team, but it doesn't go to our arts. And so I started making a list. So for that one, she had just posted a picture of the boys practicing for their Easter music that they were going to get to present at their church. And so to me, I was like, oh, that is so precious. And I love how hard they're working. They need support. So that's where I came up with that one. Of course, the cheerleading one was one of my former students. So she knows that I love my babies, and, but this is a single mom that has a child that, may not participate in regular activity sports or even be the scholar, in school, but she shines in cheer, and she does competitive cheer. The child's 7 years old. And for a single mom, we all know how expensive that is. Amanda hit it. She spent $800 on one uniform for one set of uniforms and the accessories for one season. So that's where I went through, is I want to give back to those people. I was a gymnast mom. I know that uniform was $1,100. Luckily, we could wear them for 2 competition seasons, but still, that's really expensive. So I want to give back. Think about those single parents and what their kids do, and what can you do to help them?
So I want to give you all, we suggested that you all come with 3 to 5 fundraiser ideas in terms of who you could reach out to. So be sure that you're sharing those in the chat so that we can all benefit from those ideas. But I'm going to encourage you, I'm going to send you home with some homework, and I'm going to encourage you to take 15 or 20 minutes this evening before you go to bed. And I want you to scroll Facebook. Now, you're going to do it anyway. You're going to scroll Facebook anyway. So have your pen and paper there. And I want you to just go down real quickly. Look at what people are posting. What are they talking about? And how could some facet of their life benefit from you offering a fundraiser? And see how many, there's cancer centers, Laura said, patient assistant fund at your area hospitals. Who can you find that could benefit from a fundraiser? And let's see if you can make at least 5, add 5 more to your list tonight before you go.
Another idea too is, with COVID, there were a lot of organizations that were hit hard in the funding area. They lost a lot of funding. They lost a lot of support. There were a lot of programs that collapsed even. And so Sherry's post idea is an excellent one, but that doesn't have to be it. After that, then later you can say, what's an organization that was affected, has been affected recently with funding cuts? I would not use the C word, but what's an organization that has been affected? And then you generate even more responses and conversation that way too.
Mhm. All right, so we have a few minutes left and we're going to open this up to questions that you may have for our panel of experts. If you want to just unmute and go ahead and bring us your question, we will have the answer for you, I'm confident.
I have a question.
All right.
Would y'all recommend that you do a virtual party along to do the fundraiser? Or do you just recommend them getting catalogs and going around and getting orders?
I
Sherry?
would think it would depend on your organization. I always do a party. And then I keep them updated on where we're at, because I have them set a goal of how much they want to raise, not how much they want the party. Like if they want to raise $500, that's a $2,000 party or whatever. So I always just say we're raising $500. This is where we're at. So every $100. Oh, there you go.
So this is one suggestion of what Amy made to show where they were at. And here's one. Oh. So like she's putting this over to keep track. So this group is already at $800. Easy way for her to show them where they're at.
But if you're doing a big group, like a baseball team, or several teams in a league, then it would probably be better to just give them the individual team members 1 or 2 catalogs so that and some order forms, because then they can hand them out to their friends and family or whatever, or the link.
And I want to click on Sherry's just a second. If you don't have 80, 100 catalogs, create a QR code, put it right there on the front. And I even do 2. I do one to the catalog, the easy click through virtual catalog. So this one will say, flip through the catalog here, place order here, and that goes to the order form that way, because you're always going to have those people that want to flip through, but that way that's just an easier way, because I know that sounds a little overwhelming when you think, if I get an organization, what am I going to do? I don't have 1,000 catalogs and we're working on only a month. What are we going to do? How are we going to do that? Just use a QR code. Spoken from the person that does not do technology.
And one other thing that I wanted to mention, Amy talked about, we want to make sure that everybody understands that for a fundraiser, you will receive 5% less in commission. So I do want you to be careful about saying that you're going to add to what Pampered Chef's going to do, because you really are already giving up 5%, but your fundraisers are generally higher, so it's going to offset. But here's one idea that Amy was using. She's working with a band organization, or I know it was a school organization. And so she's taking what little bit that she would have invested, like to add to, there's not a reason to add to when Pampered Chef is doubling. So she's offering some prizes as incentives for the teenagers. And that's a great way to incentivize them and get them more excited, more involved, more engaged in that. All right, CL, you've got a question.
Yes. Okay, so the organization sets their goal. Okay, say their goal is $1,000. That's not $1,000 in sales. That's going to be 30% more.
Yes.
It's gonna be about a 300
yeah.
or 3,300. Yeah.
Okay.
Something like that. Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to get that clarified.
Yep. And if any of you need help figuring out what those numbers are, if they want a $1,000 check donation, what does that mean that the sales have to be? Just reach out to somebody in the organization. We've got some excellent mathematicians that'll have that for you just like that.
Hey,
Like
Amy,
Amanda did right off the top of her head.
Yeah.
how do you do those QR codes?
So if you don't have a daughter, you can email because she's now in Germany and sleeping all night. You Google, hey, I'm not kidding. I'm not afraid to tell y'all I use my kid and she was the best pampered chef assistant ever. Then the army got her, so they got a great one. So you can Google, create a QR code, and it's super easy. You just have to have the link. So you go
Okay.
in and open it. My tabs look very similar to Sherry's when she shared her post. And I was like, honey, I can't make fun of you because mine looks the same because I got to have all those open. So I'd open a tab and let's use the catalog, for instance. I would open it and then I would open it at the top in and I would just copy it and drop it right in with paste and it'll generate that code. Some of
Okay.
them, I have yet to figure this out, but some of them you can get real fancy and put a picture in the middle. So on the picture of the catalog, which I will be addressing my German helper, you can put the picture of the Pampered Chef Independent Consultant. And I would do that on the catalog.
Okay.
And then I would be real fancy and steal a picture of whatever organization, let's say it used an athletic association. I would go to their page and take a screenshot of their thing and put it in the middle of the order form. That way they know to place the order. You're going here. They're super easy to do. And I usually can send her my link and show her a picture of whatever I need. And she has it back to me in less than a minute because, well, she knows what she's doing and where she's going. But if she can do it and I can figure out how to do a basic one, I promise y'all can do that.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's great information. Okay.
You can also do QR codes in Canva.
Yep.
Ooh,
Oh, okay,
I
that's
know
good.
that.
to
Oh, I
know.
didn't know that.
Yep. Yes, you can.
Good, thanks, Wendy.
And if you have a link tree, or something that you use that you can do several links, all you need is the link to that and you can put it in your QR code and then they will have all the links that you want them to have.
Excellent. That'd especially be good maybe if you were doing something for your team
Yes.
so that they could each have theirs. Okay. All right, we've got time for maybe one more question.
I have a
Anybody?
question.
Yes.
So say like you want to do something, and I don't know if this was addressed, I came in late, I'm sorry.
Okay.
But say like you want to do something for somebody personal, because like I know of a few people who are going through like some medical things. So how would you set that up without having to donate your commission? I mean, I've done that before, but it's not something that I want to make a habit of.
Well,
you
and
know?
that's not a good idea. A lot of us go outside of the traditional fundraiser, but that's really not a good idea this month because with Pampered Chef donating or doubling the donation, I think that the recipient is going to receive more than what most of us would be willing to donate. So we came up with some ideas. Who wants to answer that?
I think we came up with, as long as, because I've done this before for mission trips for individuals, as long as there's you could, if it's for medical expenses, as long as there's a bank account associated with that person, attached to an organization, then you can do the funds for that. So like you could say, Susie Q's medical expense, Good Samaritan Hospital or whatever it is. So if there's a way that you can do that, you can pay, it can go directly to that thing. Or if it's a church organization for a mission trip, you can make it to the church in that person's name.
Mhm.
And a lot of your churches will actually, you could reach out to a church in their area or have them to do so and just see if that was something that they would be willing to use their name for to help. Because we were talking about that. Churches got hit so hard during the pandemic trying to help people. So if they're
Mhm.
helping somebody and not really having to come up with any money, I think they would be on board to assist.
And, you know, the food pantries also were hit real hard. So that's, I mean, I just can't imagine a food pantry not welcoming any donation that they could get. So,
And you can do, on those ones, you can do a couple different things. You could do the meal kits, or you can do, which a meal kit is just a recipe that we've kind of pared down to where you're doing it so that it's not, you're donating everything but the meat or the fresh vegetables, but you can do all the canned things, the seasonings, and the seasonings would be from ours. Like I've done the minestrone soup and the white chili chicken, or white chicken, however you say that.
white
Anyway,
chicken chili. Mhm.
yeah, or you can do like like last year we did bread buddies, where you buy the bread mixes, which are $12, I think, that you only add water to, or the $10 one, I think, is the Italian bread. But the beer bread is, which was the one, wait, which one only adds water? Anyway, whatever one only adds water, you can have people buy those for $10. And then the donation, the fundraiser, is to the food bank. And then these people are still getting another bread buddy, or they're getting the meal kit. So
Mhm.
I've done a couple of those and they're very successful. And
Good
the food banks so appreciate them.
Yes. Yeah. All right. Well, I hope that you have found this very beneficial. If so, I'm going to ask you to put some love there in the chat for Amy Zubers, Amanda Woods, and Sherry Turley Kress. I know they've done their homework. It's obvious that they have done their homework and some research, and they took time to put this together for you all, because we wanted you all to be able to maximize the donations, enhance your own business for this month, not just May, this month, May and June, but also I want you to think about the recipients that are going to benefit, all the people that can benefit from our energies and our focus. So, all right. Thank you, everyone. I hope that you take these ideas and run with them. Be sure and post on our team page, our organization page, or whatever organization you're a part of, and let everybody know how you're using these ideas. Share, share, share. Good night.
Night.